phrases, what exactly is it that you do? What is the magic that you offer?
I think it depends a little bit at which maturity stage companies are at. So I work with startups and also scale-ups. Scale-ups are a bit more mature, where they often maybe think we don't need product market fit anymore. But actually the question whether you're doing something that customers really want is something that should stay with you throughout your whole company life cycle.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think one key thing that we do is to start by making assumptions explicit. So whether you're a founder by yourself or you have a big leadership team or a big company of maybe a couple hundred employees, it's about firstly making things explicit, because often a lot of people have things in their minds and different people within the team have different thoughts about who the target audience should be. For instance, with mature companies, we start with a product market fit audit, and we start also with interviews with each individual stakeholder, so one-on-one interviews to kind of understand where we stand and make these feelings or thoughts or gut feelings explicit. And what we usually find is that people have very different ideas of what the company is today and what it should be doing and who it should be serving. There's often a lack of internal alignment. And then when you interview the customer base, which is a very interesting thing to do when you have a more mature company, you find also that there are very different answers, and potentially the customers see your value in something very different than what you thought yourself. So the first thing that we do is make things explicit and get clarity on where we are today. And then the second step is that we help you outline the right strategy. So we help you figure out what you should be testing, which assumptions are the most risky, which assumptions are already quite certain, and we help you find the minimum viable approach to do that test. For example, you have in mind a couple of target audience segments that could be interesting. We help you make the assumptions about these audiences explicit. We help you identify the right methods to test these assumptions. So which channels do you want to test, which value propositions, what tone of voice, which images. We help you also set up the tests and set up, if needed, the tooling to read the results of those tests so you can adjust them. So it's all about making things explicit, setting you up to start testing, and setting you up to start adjusting in the right way.
And I wonder, because it sounds so valuable what you're offering, because you go into the company, you hear from everyone, right? So you're talking with the employees, because you're really rounding up everyone's feelings and opinions, you know. And I think in a lot of these organizations, sometimes it comes down to one guy's opinion on, okay, his gut feeling on who the right target audience is and what they're going to want. And that is like absolutely, like, in marketing 101, that is like the wrong approach, right? You really have to test things. You have to go to the market and you have to do the research and really see. And I think also sometimes people are doing the research in a not so systematized way. It sounds like you really have this process down to a T, so you can help organizations follow your process to come to a group agreement on what is the best strategy to take moving forward.
Absolutely, and I think it's very interesting what you just said, because everybody, when I tell them this story, they say, oh, that's great for marketing. And I've done a lot of different roles, but one role I never did was anything in marketing. It's just because I believe that this idea of finding the right target audience and doing something for them, specifically for them, that means not something that you wanted to do anyhow or something that you've already built and are now trying to sell to people, but really focusing on an audience first, is something that should underpin the whole business.
Absolutely.
So I have done product roles and QA roles and strategic roles and business development roles. And I always went back to this kind of customer-driven approach to things, also setting up sales and marketing, but always starting with the target audience first. But when you Google now target audience analysis, it goes to marketing, as if it's only the job for the marketeer. And I completely think it should be everyone. It should be also what the CEO eats for breakfast every day.